Alright, flight boss bitch, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Antares Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel. I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now I got this little chart I made up right now. We finna talk about the real tree of life. The real tree of life. I got some definitions down there, but you probably can't see it. So I'm just gonna speak them out. Cause really it's just I think I have my hand over the speaker. But yeah, there's the definitions down here. It's 1 through 9 dimensions, which there's only 9 dimensions. And anybody who want to disprove me, I'm finna break it down for y'all so y'all can understand. Now, when I say 9 dimensions, whatever people y'all listen to or whatever internet person that's trying to refute me, what you're actually talking about is not dimensions. You're talking about spheres of realities. Now, there's hundreds and thousands of spheres of realities. That's like spaces within spaces. Now, we all are spaces within space. And you have a lot of spaces that's in space, which creates wheels, like circles, and that draw in energy. You know what I'm saying? Now, when we want to talk about the 9 dimensions, reason why I say there's only 9 dimensions, because it doesn't go past that. I don't care what you're looking at as far as any kind of language, any kind of number system, whatever. It doesn't go past 9. That's because there's only 9 dimensions. Now, it's not my fault the way you guys are looking at dimensions. Now, I'm not Archangel Uriel, so I'm gonna give you the right perspective of how to look at dimensions, so you can understand the confusion that many people who make videos on the internet may have. And a lot of times, well, 99% of the time, it's just humans confused amongst the right and the left brain. But I'm going to connect y'all. So it's the Archangel Uriel. Now check this out. Here's the real tree of life. Now you say it's only 9 dimensions, but you see 10 circles, 10 orbs, 10 roots of absorbing and extracting and giving off energy orbs. So what happens here is, this is the space. This is the idea. So this is God's space. So this is before we even reach to the 1 degree. So you can't count this. But for the sake of the tree of life, this is like the seed before it blossoms. This is like the seed when it's in the dirt and before you can see it. So this is God's space. So we see this is God's space. And when we come down here, this is your space. This is your space. Now, as you see from God's space, it goes from 1, 2, 3, 3rd dimension. Now, we know this. I'm not gonna go back into this 3 thing again, the sequence of 3, but y'all should already know I got videos on that. Now, this is angel space right here. Now, that's another video. Now, when we talk about as far as the 9 dimensions, now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's the 9 dimensions. Now, I'm gonna break down the actual way you're supposed to look at dimensions, because here's the thing, here's the problem. When people listen to people who don't really understand, you have people who went to school for 30 years, 40 years, and then you have people who teach other people. So then when they get on the internet and make videos, they really think they know what they're talking about when they talk about dimensions. So they'll have you thinking about all these complicated ways to jump in this dimension, jump into the 4th dimension, and you're already automatically using all the dimensions. So you're going to be using the dimension that they telling you to. So for an example, you watch a video of someone who so-called got 1 million views about the 4th dimension, right? So they telling you all this type of shit that you got to do to get in the 4th dimension. Remind you, you're already using the 4th dimension. So you're going to try to do what they're telling you to get into the 4th dimension, already using the 4th dimension. So you're going to be using what God already gave you underneath a construct, underneath a program, underneath someone else's idea. So it's already something added. It's weight, it's density. So it's wrong. You see what I'm saying? So here's the actual way you're supposed to look at dimensions. Now, once we reach from God's space, right, we get to the 1st dimension. The 1st dimension is singularity, thyself, selfishness, without, what's on the outside. So anytime you run into a person who only thinks about themselves, only time you do something that you concerned about yourself first, right? You're in the 1st dimension. Now, remind you, these dimensions are not good or bad yet. They're not. There's no such thing as good or bad or true or false or anything yet. Because you know for a fact on earth, well, you know for truth, sometimes you have to be selfish in order to get yourself straight, and that's a good thing. Or if you're a little too selfish, then that it could be a bad thing. So there's a good and bad into everything. So wipe that from your brain when we're talking about dimensions. Now, the first dimension is singularity, thyself, selfishness, going without and on the outside. Only thinking about the self, right? Now, the second dimension is duality, relating, compromising, going within, on the inside. So anytime you're relating to something, a person, place, or thing, or anytime you're compromising, or anytime you realize it's something you're relating, or talking to someone else or something like that, you're diving in the second dimension. That's the second dimension. That's a straight line. Now it's a line. It comes from the dot, from you just being you, to you looking at someone else, and that light has something to trace and attract to. Now it went into something else. That's duality. That's the second dimension. So anytime you're dealing with others or dealing with something else, that's the second dimension. Now, the third dimension. Now this is your space. Third dimension. Third density is third person. Your surroundings, location, area, 3D, your viewpoint, being consciously aware of your surroundings. So basically, when we just talk about these in general, this is God experiencing itself. So you are God experiencing itself and everything in it. So now, before I start to break it down even deeper, let's finish the dimensions. Now, the higher the dimension, the less dense it is. But from the first dimension, from the space dimension, and then from the first to the third dimension, that's what brought it dense. Now it's going back up. Now look, fourth dimension, the judge your situations, understanding your surroundings, judging your circumstances. So anytime you judge the situation you're in, that's the fourth dimension. So anytime you sitting back, so say you're a poor bum on the street, and you sitting back thinking like, man, this is a fucked up situation right here for me. That's a fourth dimensional construct. You're in the fourth dimension anytime you're thinking like that. Anytime you're judging your situations. So for an example, when you get in trouble and you have to go to court, right? You have to go sit in front of a judge. What does the judge do? He judge your situation. And whatever your situation is, that's going to be what your punishment is based upon. So that judge seat, a judge is working from a fourth dimensional aspect. When he get the papers in front of him, see everything that you did, he's going to start judging you. This is why we have to stop calling judges on earth judges. You see what I'm saying? Now, we're going to go to the fifth dimension. Now, fifth dimension is authority. Taking part in your situations. Using your influence in your situations. So for an example, when you start to act in your situations. So for an example, if you go to work, right, and you have to judge if you like the job or not, right? You're judging your situation. That's the fourth dimension. Now, when you go to work and act in this situation based upon what you judged it upon, that's the fifth dimension. Your authority, utilizing your influence in these situations. That's the fifth dimension. So anytime, so for an example, say you feel like somebody is trying to take advantage of you, right? So you sitting back thinking about it, right? So now that's the fourth dimension. When you thought about them taking advantage of you, you went into the fourth dimension, right? Now, your actions in that situation, if you let them take advantage of you, or if you do something to prevent them from taking advantage of you, your actions that you did in that situation, that's working from a fifth dimensional aspect. You see how these is not dense no more? You see how I get more into the mind, more into the soul, more into the spirit realm? It's less dense now. It's not physical no more like the third dimension. But you're supposed to, reason why it goes down and up, you see how it goes down into density when it goes from 1, 2, 3, and then it went from God's space to your space into density, right? And then now it goes back up into thought and spirit when we go into the fourth and fifth. Is because you're made to will things into existence. You're made to take from the idea, will it into existence, and bring that with you back up. That's why when you ascend, you're supposed to ascend with this body. You know what I'm saying? But that's another video. Now let's talk about That's the fifth dimension. Now, the sixth dimension. The sixth dimension is becoming third person, visualizing the outcome of your situation, experiencing the outcome. So after you went through the fourth dimension, you thought about this person trying to play you, right? And after you took part in the situation in order to prevent them or let them do it, based upon your ability to tap into the fifth dimension. See, I'm explaining to you what the fifth dimension is. Now that y'all know what it is, now you're able to be like, oh, okay. Now you're able to get more consciously aware. See what I'm saying? There's probably videos that nobody even know how to explain the fifth and the sixth dimension on the internet. So they're coming up with all kind of shit to shapes and geometrical shapes to the point that that's how I look. But they don't even know. But I'm giving you it right now. Archangel Uriel. Now, after you then judged this person trying to take advantage of you in the fourth dimension, you took part in the situation in order to prevent them or let them. That's the fifth dimension. Now, the sixth dimension is becoming third person, visualizing the outcome of your situation, experiencing the outcome. So, based upon how good you can work your sixth dimension, that's how good that you can let someone let someone not take advantage of you. For an example, when you actually going through the experience of this person actually taking advantage of you, or you visualizing that's what's going to happen after you take part based upon how you judge the situation, which is the fourth and fifth dimension, then that's working on a sixth dimensional aspect. That's working from the sixth dimensional realm. You know what I'm saying? When you start to experience what actually happened. Did that person actually take advantage of you, or did you actually stop them? You know what I'm saying? That's the sixth dimension. You know what I'm saying? And you see, the more and more it start to play with time, it start to play with experience. Now, seventh dimension. Seventh dimension is using authority, knowing your situation, knowing what to do to get the outcome. So the seventh dimension is, for an example, if you didn't already been through a lot of situations that dealt with the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, like for just a little example that I just did, it could be any situation, but that was just a metaphor that I just did for that situation, someone taking advantage of you. But it could be any situation, everyday life, you know what I'm saying? But if you've been through a bunch of those, right, then you have, after that's why when you get older, you get wisdom, because you experienced a lot already. But you can skip all that if you just know shit. Kids already, like babies and kids, they already know. This is why a baby in a stroller can just go into the middle of a street faster than an adult. And I bet every car stop or go around. But I bet that adult that just run crazy in the street end up getting hit. Why is that? You probably thinking, oh, because everybody sees a baby or whatever like that. Yeah, on the surface level, but on a metaphysic level, it's because babies' chakras is already lit. Their third eyes is already open. They already have an aura around them. They already have the creation of idea, imagination already around them. So just already, that's going to trickle down into seeing when it gets to the third realm. It's going to appear that, oh, everybody just ain't want to hit no baby or whatever like that. But what it really was, because the energy and the spirit that the baby is carrying, when the stroller just went out into the middle of the street. You know what I'm saying? It's a more care factor. It's a more, everything is emphasized. Now, the seventh dimension is using authority, knowing the situation. So like I said, if you already been through a lot of situations from the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, then a lot of times you're going to be in situations where you already know what's going to happen. You are like, so now it's using authority. So act on it. That's, for an example, say you are an artist, right? And someone call you, or there's an audition downtown somewhere to say whoever got the best art painting or whatever like that is going to win, right? So since you know you are an artist, and since you know you've been through a lot of fourth dimensional situations where you wasn't sure of yourself and you had to judge the situation, was you a good painter or not, then when you went in the fifth dimension, you was like, well, let me put it out there and see what happened. Then when you went in the sixth dimension, you experienced the opposition. You experienced if people told you was a good artist or told you if you wasn't. Now, you did that a whole bunch of times, right? Now, the seventh dimension is knowing. You should already know if you're good enough already. So seventh dimension is utilizing your authority, knowing your situation, That's the seventh dimension. It's knowing your influence. So if you know you're a good artist, you know if you go down there and show them your painting, you know that they're gonna you like utilizing your authority to create the outcome of the situation. Now, eighth dimension. The eighth dimension is using time, experiencing the experience happening of what you created. So it takes time. In order for you to be a good artist, what? It took time. And all that experience that it took, in order to even have knowledge and wisdom to experience anything, you had to have time with it in order to experience it, right? So that's dealing with the soul and everything, the fluid. So the eighth dimension is basically using your time and then experiencing the experience happening of whatever you created. So since, like I said, if you was the artist and you know you had a good painting and you went down there and took it and you know you was going to win, that experience of you making that painting, that experience of you knowing you're going to win, and then when you went down there and took the time to go down there to see it into fruition, that's the eighth dimension. So anytime you take your time on something, anytime you experiencing anything, that's the eighth dimension. You see how you could jump to the eighth dimension is easier to get to? And watch, I'm gonna break it all down. Y'all gonna get it. Look, all right, look. Now the ninth dimension, the last dimension, the ninth dimension is using your experience. So how do you use your experience, right? All these things you know about being an artist, right? You can teach somebody else that, right? So you have a lot of wisdom and knowledge on painting, right? So that's anytime you teaching somebody or you think you just know something, you have wisdom, or that's the ninth, you're working in a ninth dimensional realm. You're working in a ninth dimensional realm, using your experience to teach others knowingness, wisdom, knowledge of the overall experience. That's the ninth dimension. Now, see, like I said, this is the God space. This is your space. This the zero. Now you have the first dimension, second dimension, third dimension, and you have the fourth dimension, fifth dimension, sixth dimension, seventh dimension, eighth dimension, ninth dimension. Now I'm finna give you a few pointers to see how you're supposed to look at this. Now, if this your space, right, and this God space, right, what does this tell you? This tell you that God won't be able to experience itself without going through the 1, 2, and the 3, bringing itself down into density, right? So what deals with experience? What deals with wisdom and experience? The eighth dimension is time, right? The ninth dimension is wisdom in which you can teach, right? Now, you see how this is your space, and you see how up here is God's space. Now, you see how God's space goes directly to the fourth dimension and the fifth dimension. And then these are the angel spaces. But you see the fourth dimension. What was the fourth dimension? The judge. What was the fifth dimension? The authority. So God quickly can get to being the judge, quickly could be an authority, but without the experience through you, the experience is the time, eighth dimension, and it won't have the knowledge and the wisdom of itself without through you. This is why your space can get to the ninth dimension and the eighth dimension faster than God can, which God is you, but it had to go through you to have those. You see what I'm saying? Now, God is all powerful. So look, it could go to the fourth dimension, but it has to go to the fourth and fifth dimension first, and then the sixth dimension, seventh dimension, in order to get down there. For an example, God, right? Now, sometimes it has to work through you, people, in order to spread the word to others. See, so sometimes these people may appear selfish or have an idea to themselves. So this is why a lot of times they tie God to being a selfish God, because sometimes it has to work through people, which is a person, which is a person who is blessed or gifted with the word to give off to others. So that's this God space to the one person. Then that one person could give it to two. Then that two is everybody in the surroundings, which everybody could become one. And everybody can utilize the time, which is the eighth dimension, and has the knowledge and wisdom of the experience that they're in, which is the ninth dimension. See, but a lot of times these fight. Human beings, the one selfishness, people, it fight. So the word get diluted to others, then this get clouded to the point that the time and experience that you living in life and the wisdom that you have and the knowledge in it is cloudy. So a lot of times God had to go on the outer realm to figure out things, how to reach the third realm. So it take a little longer, a little bit more experiences to get to the third realm. It has to go to the outer realm. So this is the outer realm of the square within the circles. Fourth dimension, right? Fourth dimension is the judge. So now God is judging the situation, judging your situations, regardless of how y'all is figuring it in your realm, in your space. So he's judging it, right? Becoming an authority, right? So that still has to come through people in a certain amount of degree, you know what I'm saying? But that's another video with those lines. I'm gonna make those lines, when I do these lines, that's a whole nother video. So I go deep with shit, you know what I'm saying? Now look, then from the fourth dimension, God has to go into the sixth dimension. And what is the sixth dimension? Becoming third person. So remind you, the higher the dimension, the less dense. See how it still ain't 3, it ain't density, but God still has to become third person. See how he has to come to you within situations. You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? So he's judging your situations. Now, the seventh dimension is you using authority, knowing the situation. See, God already know what you're gonna do. See, but it's just it has to take these steps first. Seventh dimension, using authority, knowing your situation. So you already know what you're gonna do. She already knows what you're gonna do. It already knows what she's gonna do. So then God can have wisdom and knowledge. Well, God already has wisdom and knowledge in those ways, which is the ninth dimension. God already experienced time in those ways, which is the eighth dimension. But see how it wasn't dense? It wasn't dense first. So see when your space, which is down here, the third dimension, see how all that information could have got clouded to the point that you still didn't get the proper understanding of it down here? So it's good to align all your chakras for you to become one with this, and that energy can flow with this, with the 1, 2, 3, with the up, with the you, yourself and others, and the space that you're in, and keep going that up, and then you'll be able to understand the outer realms, which is these is the angel spaces. Angel spaces. You see what I'm saying? Now, you can get, this is your space, which is all of us down here together. You know what I'm saying? And we have to help each other so we can get back to the one and be able to experience heaven. But sometimes we could get too selfish and separate ourselves into these realms. See, when I do these lines, that's another video. See, once it come down into density, right? Then a person close off caring about his surroundings. Then he stopped caring about other people. He only cares about himself now. Then at that point, he start caring about himself or herself. Then this person can start going off to these other realms instead of that space. So they'll start creating other realms in these spaces. So, because you're always using all dimensions. So don't let nobody tell you you're not. I just explained at the beginning of the video what dimensions are. So then once you get to that, you don't even care about yourself. You off the back into your own world, into these angel spaces. But they might be bad angels because you didn't go the good route. You went the bad route. So these angels going to take advantage of you in these spaces. You know what I'm saying? So once you jump from this being singular and then you just jumped into the fifth dimension or the fourth dimension, which is the fifth dimension, what is that? Authority. You using your authority on something you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. What's the fourth dimension? When you in that space right now, the fourth dimension is being a judge. You judging shit that you ain't even connected to, nothing to even know what to judge it on. These people will end up killing themselves or shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Or doing something real evil in the world. They go off into the sixth dimension in this realm, being disconnected with that. You know what I'm saying? And then once they go off into the sixth, what's the sixth dimension? Becoming third person. Now they think they God in that realm. Then they creating trees of life over in that realm. You know what I'm saying? Then once they die. When they die here. They don't die up here. They don't go up here no more. They die over here. They nothing. And what is that? The scribble. I ain't even know what else kind of geometric. I don't even know what to make that look like. So it just metaphysically came out as scribble. Nothing. That's nothing. That's literally how it played out. I just did it right in front of your face. That's how it metaphysically played out. Right in front of your face. I ain't even know what else my mind ain't even know what else to do but put scribbles here. That ain't nothing. Flight boss, bitch. Part 2 coming up when I'm gonna do the lines and we're gonna go a little deeper.